You might have heard whispers about an ordinary-looking 1980 D Susan B. Anthony dollar that could secretly be worth a fortune, even up to $1 million. Collectors' forums, online videos, and social media posts have kept this rumor alive, making people rush to check their old coin jars and forgotten drawers. Could this small, silvery dollar, the one that so often goes unnoticed, actually be a hidden treasure? Or is it just another story that's grown wild with time? Well, don't go anywhere, because by the end of this video, you'll know the real truth behind the famous $1 million rumor of the 1980 D Susan B. Anthony dollar. So stay with me till the end. What you're about to discover might surprise you. Let's start from the beginning. In 1979, the United States Mint introduced a completely new $1 coin, the Susan B. Anthony dollar, often called the Susie B. It was meant to replace the larger Eisenhower dollar and encourage people to use dollar coins more often in everyday transactions. The idea seemed brilliant: make the coin smaller, lighter, and easier to carry. But there was one problem: it looked too similar to a quarter. From the moment it entered circulation, Americans began confusing it with the 25-cent coin. Cashiers, vending machines, and even banks struggled to tell them apart. The experiment was, unfortunately, not a success, at least not initially. But the coin itself carried something special, a piece of American history and a symbol of change. The obverse, or front side, of the coin features Susan B. Anthony, a courageous leader who fought for women's rights and played a vital role in the suffrage movement. She became the first real woman ever featured on a U.S. circulating coin. Look closely and you'll see her profile facing right, surrounded by the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the date 1980 at the bottom. If you spot a small D mint mark right beside her shoulder, that means your coin was struck at the Denver Mint. That's the 1980 D we're talking about today. On the reverse, you'll find an eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch, the same design used on the Eisenhower dollar, inspired by the Apollo 11 mission patch. The background of stars and craters makes it one of the most striking designs ever placed on a U.S. dollar coin. Now, you might be wondering, if it's so common, why are people calling it a $1 million coin? That's where the mystery begins. See, when it comes to coins, value isn't just about age. It's about rarity, condition, mint errors, and demand. Most 1980 D Susan B. Anthony dollars are indeed ordinary. Millions were produced, over 41 million from the Denver Mint alone. But every now and then, collectors discover a coin that's different. A coin with an error or variety so unique that it becomes a treasure. Some of these rumors started when people heard stories of rare minting mistakes, things like double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchets. There were even whispers about Susan B. Anthony dollars being struck on Martha Washington test planchets or foreign blanks. These rare cases can make a coin incredibly valuable. And so, slowly, the story of the $1 million Susan B. Anthony dollar began spreading like wildfire. But before we reveal the truth, let's explore what collectors actually look for. If you pick up your 1980 D Susan B. Anthony dollar and inspect it closely, pay attention to its surface. Is it shiny and uncirculated, or does it show scratches and wear? Because in the world of coin grading, condition is everything. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, from 1, poor, to 70, perfect mint state. A typical circulated coin, one that's been in pockets or purses, might grade around MS 60 or lower. Such a coin usually sells for just its face value, $1. But a coin in flawless condition, brilliant, untouched, and graded MS 67 or higher, can sell for hundreds of dollars, sometimes even more. Now, here's where things get interesting. Some rare high-grade 1980 D Susan B. Anthony dollars have sold for hundreds and occasionally over $1,000 at auction, especially when certified by reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC. For example, one near-perfect MS 68 specimen has fetched over $1,000, simply because of its pristine surfaces and lack of blemishes. And then there are error coins. Imagine a coin accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchet, maybe a copper-nickel dollar struck on a quarter blank, or a coin with a major die clash, or one missing part of its design. Such pieces can be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on the severity of the error. That's where some of those million-dollar rumors start, when one or two ultra-rare errors are discovered and the story spreads beyond the collector community. However, here's the honest truth. there are no verified 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony dollars worth $1 million. That's right, the rumors exaggerate reality. While some rare coins indeed sell for jaw-dropping sums, like certain 1943 copper pennies or 1933 double eagles, the 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar hasn't reached that level. Its real-world value depends on three main factors. 1. Condition and grade. Pristine uncirculated coins fetch the most. 2. Minting errors or varieties. Unusual strikes can be worth much more. 3. Collector demand. Coins with historical appeal or beautiful toning attract higher bids. So, how much could your 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar actually be worth? Let's break it down clearly. Circulated coins, usually around $1 to $2. Uncirculated, MS 60 to MS 65 between $3 and $10. High grade, MS 67 and above $100 to $1,000 plus, depending on rarity and certification. Error coins. These are the wild cards. Depending on the error type, some have reached $500 to $3,000, though extremely rare and exceptional examples might go higher. But no regular 1980 D coin has ever sold anywhere close to $1 million. Still, this coin holds something beyond money. It represents history, the story of Susan B. Anthony, a woman who spent her life fighting for equality and justice. She never lived to see women gain the right to vote, yet her face now circulates in millions of hands, a symbol of progress and courage. And here's another little-known fact. When the coin was released, many Americans actually disliked it. They found it too small and confusing. Banks even stopped ordering them. But over time, the Susan B. Anthony dollar gained a cult following among collectors and historians who recognized its significance. Today, it stands as a bridge between the classic large dollar coins of the past and the golden Sacagawea and presidential dollars that followed. So, the next time you come across a 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar, don't just see a piece of change. Hold it in your hand and think of the story it carries, from the Denver Mint's busy presses to the pockets of Americans who lived through the early 1980s. It's not $1 million treasure in cash, but it is $1 million piece of history. Now that you know the truth, here's your takeaway. If you have one of these coins, keep it safe. Inspect it carefully under light. Look for mint errors, off-center strikes, or unusual features. If it appears perfect or unusual, consider having it graded. You never know when a small discovery could surprise the world of numismatics. But most importantly, enjoy the beauty and legacy of the Susan B. Anthony dollar. Sometimes, the true value of a coin isn't in its price. It's in the story it tells and the history it preserves.